Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool Western Electric 317 wood wall crank telephone, and this is Carl's equipment from Missouri. This is the initial checkout of this telephone, and Carl wants this telephone to work on our modern system, and this telephone has been converted already in the past by the phone company. And what we have here is a G-style handset and hook switch that they've added, and it's kind of disappointing to see that the phone company of all entities that would convert a telephone would not put this telephone into working condition with the original style situation that it was in. But that's the way they were doing it, and they would add a G-style handset to it and hook switch here. So what we're going to do is give you some still pictures of that. And we want to modify so that it will accept a receiver capsule with a cloth cord. So we're going to have to fabricate or redesign what we have there, or we're going to totally take that out and use a different situation. So you really never know what you're going to end up doing and how it's going to work out until you just start on it. We also want to upgrade the transmitter. That is totally disconnected. And I'm going to show you the inside. We'll go ahead and open the unit. And what we have here is our solenoids for the bells. We want to go ahead and go through the solenoids, the bells. Everything's going to need to be adjusted. We're going to have to troubleshoot that, make sure it works. As you can see, they clearly took all the wiring out and all the wiring out for the transmitter here. We also want to go through the transmitter. There's no wiring for the transmitter, and that will have to be upgraded. We also have a stamp here, and it's for Bell Systems, St. Louis, Missouri. So that's probably where the conversion took place. We have a really cool schematic here that's still on the door. We're going to give you still pictures of all that. Over on this side, we have our magneto. We have our crank. It does turn. We want to oil that and adjust it. They spent a lot of time putting a wiring block up here. This is on the inside of our hook switch, and it has a similar hook switch assembly to, like, say, a 2500 set, but it was basically probably designed for this style of telephone, a wooden wall, when they were converting them. So it seems like a lot of trouble that they went to take the telephone out of its original state and make these conversions, when it would have probably been simpler to come up with a little better design idea where they could have used the original style situation and still made a conversion. We have basically a bell box down here that they've installed. It has a bell on it, so they weren't using the original bell. They were using a bell down in the battery area. We have a network, and we're going to utilize some of this equipment probably. And like I said, each conversion goes a little differently. There may be some things we use and other things we'll get rid of. We don't need these bells down here in the battery box area. These are screws. So we're going to be removing the bells that they have in this battery box area. There's no sense in keeping them when we're going back to the original situation. So we have to wire everything. We need to rewire the magneto, because that has to feed the solenoids, of course. We're going to be installing a modular port, so Carl can simply bring in any line cord, any color, any length, and plug right into the modular port. It'll be a simple plug and play connection. So we have a lot of work to do. He does not want a keypad in this telephone. We also need to install a circuit that we design and build here at the shop. It allows you to crank the magneto and ring the original bells, but not backfeed any voltage into the telephone line. And when you get a ring cycle that comes in or a call, the original bells will ring. So there's quite a bit of work here that we need to do. We're going to do some still pictures like I mentioned earlier. So we want to go ahead and get a start on this telephone, and we'll come back and get some more video as we move forward in the repair and conversion of this cool wooden wall 317 Western Electric. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we're in the middle of the process of repairing and converting this wooden wall crank telephone. We wanted to show you a little bit about what's going on. We're working on the hook switch cradle, or also known as a hook switch hanger. And so basically, since this telephone was converted in the past by the telephone company, they used the hanger or cradle for a G-style handset. Well, we can't use that, so that's to this style handset. We want to go back to the original style, which kind of looks like this. Is just an old receiver capsule. It's all broken up, but it shows you what we're going to be using. And then, of course, that would hang up like that. So what we had to do is redesign this hook switch hanger for the older style receiver capsule. And so that will be mounted where the bracket is for the old G-style handset. And this would have fit in here like that. And then there's two screws that hold that bracket or the hanger on. So now we can remove this and we can use our redesigned unit, and we'll get that taken care of. Now we'll probably do that in black because the bells are black and all the hardware. So we'll go ahead and paint the unit, although Carl doesn't really care about the color of it, but to make it match, we'll go ahead and take care of that issue with painting it. And we don't usually get into the cosmetic issues of these too much, but since we're working on it anyway, we'll go ahead and do that part of it. So we want to go ahead and take a short break. We want to get the hook switch hanger painted and installed, and we'll move on to some of the other issues that we need to take care of on the inside of the telephone. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up with the repair and conversion of this wooden wall crank telephone, and we're going to run through a little bit about what went on. Now, earlier in the video, we showed that we redesigned a hook switch hanger for this telephone because what they had was the old G-style hanger, and we wanted to utilize the hook switch because it was a pretty cool setup that they had, but it was just the wrong piece. And so that was installed, and we also painted that. We went ahead and installed a receiver capsule, a cloth cord. We had to drill a hole through their metal plate because they covered the hole for the old cloth cord that would come out of the telephone. They covered that up, so we had to drill a hole for that. We also upgraded the transmitter. That's got a T1 in it because we stayed with their original design that they came up with when they converted it and used a network. So that's a T1 that we used in the transmitter. We also removed the bell and the bell plate, the housing for all that. It's not needed. We're going to do some still pictures, so we'll go ahead and show you the work that was done on the inside. Both bells needed to be adjusted. The solenoid was gone through. That had to be cleaned and adjusted for the solenoid. And the clapper, that was adjusted. We also went through the magneto. That was oiled. The connections were cleaned. We had to rewire parts of this telephone the way we wanted it wired to work the way we wanted it to work. We also went through basically the network, made sure everything was proper there. We installed our modular port so that Carl can simply walk up to this telephone and plug in any line cord, any length, any color. And it makes for a simple, easy plug-and-play connection. We also design a circuit here at the shop that allows you to walk up to this telephone and crank the magneto and ring the original bells, but not backfeed any voltage into the telephone line. But yet when you get a call or a ring cycle that comes in, the original bells will ring. So we basically did a little bit of everything to this telephone. Everything was gone through, and even though it had an older style conversion, we still had to reconvert it properly. So now what we want to do is start our final checks. And I'm going to go ahead and ring the unit with the magneto. We're also going to use the analyzer, and we'll ring the unit like we're getting a call. We're going to turn our amplifier on. This is our amplified pickup. I'll let it go one more time and we'll give you some dial tone. We're going to press the button on our switch box. That gives us a line out and totally takes the analyzer out of the situation. And we use a tone generator dialer that will call a time and temp number, and we'll go ahead and do that now.
Good morning. When you need body work on your car, think of Offenburg Body Shop, 901 South Illinois, Belleville. Today is Tuesday, April 28th. The time is 1:29. Current temperature is 57 degrees.
Mostly sunny today with highs in the mid-60s. Most will clear this evening, lows in the lower 40s. Partly cloudy Tuesday, highs in the mid-60s.
Okay, we'll hang the unit up. We'll turn the amplifier off. We'll also give you some dial tone here. So now that we know that this telephone has been repaired and converted, we can return it to Carl and he can enjoy this telephone. Very cool Western Electric 317 wooden wall crank telephone, and I'm sure it's going to look great no matter where it's installed. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.